right, guys, we've been trying to do this one for a minute. We have Jeff Markland, Thunderbird Jeff.
That's me. Yo.
Everyone wants to know about you.
See on what you see is what you get, I guess. 20 years working at Newport Landing, Davies Locker. Obviously run the Thunderbird.
Yeah.
Hence Thunderbird Jeff. I've been Patriot before that. Ran the Amigo, squid fishing commercially. And
how old were you then?
On the Amigo?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was winter of 2010.
You were running the Amigo then?
10, 11, and 12, just for commercial squid fishing.
What were you doing before that?
Working on the Patriot.
For 10 years, 5 years?
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
Started as a deckhand.
Started as a deckhand. Got my license in 09. Started running relief and deck.
Okay.
You know, and then got offered the old Thunderbird, which is now the T-Bird out of Point Loma.
Mm-hmm.
And wasted 10 years of my life doing that now.
You've never done anything but a captain? Or saltwater fishing?
In California?
Yes.
I worked a little bit on a tugboat, Brusco tug and barge for a brief period of time. I think late 2000, probably 2008, something like that. But just boring.
Yeah.
It's not.
But you never had a 9 to 5?
No. I mean, when I was a kid, you know, in high school,
yeah.
I think me and 3 friends all worked at the same telemarketing company, and I think we all just carpooled and smoked bowls on the way to work every single day, you know. But
yeah, that's an interesting story because a lot of people just know you from the Thunderbird, might not know you like previous, like the Amigo. You said,
yeah.
You were captain of the Amigo as well.
Yeah, yeah. But
okay.
I mean, I not running trips, you know. I was running it commercially, squid. So, and then the first couple of years I was running the Thunderbird, I'd run the boat and then get off the fishing season and then hop right on the Amigo for commercial squid fishing. So there's a lot of work, man. There's no downtime.
So right now you're downtime from what, like November to March?
I mean, we stretch our season in the mid part of November, late part of November sometimes, and right around. Even if the fishing's phenomenal still, which it has been the last few years, coming into even Thanksgiving, guys are still out there catching bluefin, but you end up running out of people.
Yeah,
you know, so you're kind of scrambling. Even with a killer fish count, you got the holidays coming. Probably wives that'll kill their husbands for going out there and spending $500 on a fishing trip when you're supposed to be buying presents for your kids, you know.
And you're running. Your boat only runs
overnights, day and a half charters, 2-day charters, 2.5. Pretty much kind of 2.5 is our max, just because we just have tanks, you know, tanks for bait. We don't have slammers.
Mm-hmm.
Baits.
What's a slammer? I don't know.
Slammer is like a below deck live well, basically. I mean, you bass fish, so it's basically just like you can fill it with water and put bait in it, and then some of the bigger boats, they actually use it as they can refrigerate it as well. So when they're at the bait's out of there, you can just throw fish in there too.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, keep it refrigerated. But
yeah,
we don't have an application for that. So when we're running, it seems like every single day we're overnight, and then you throw all of a sudden you get a day and a half in there, and then into a 3/4 day when you get in from that, and it's like, kill me.
You do 3/4 days too sometimes?
It's always after a day and a half.
Really?
Yeah.
And you're the captain the whole time?
Hell no.
No. So do you have a second captain that when you're out there?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have a guy that we have 3 guys that run the boat. Myself, Brian, Chris. And it always works out to, you know, the crews kind of get screwed because you get in, you got to get the boat scrubbed, and then you're leaving again on a 3/4 day trip.
Shit.
Yeah.
Do you have like a crew you like to build, or you just kind of get thrown whoever?
As far as our crew?
Or who you're using right now, like, because you're the main captain of the Thunderbird.
Yeah, do I like them?
No, like,
no.
Do you get to, no, like, do you get to did you build your guys that you want?
Oh, for sure.
With? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I have guys. One guy on there, Brian's been on there since he was, 14 years old.
And how old is he now?
25.
Wow, he's been on forever.
Or 28. He'll be 25 this year. So he started as, you know, a kid that was just coming out, and then just stuck around. I think for like a year. He was like, he would never say a word to me.
He's scared of you.
I don't know. I thought he was going to kill me in my sleep, but he would just like occasionally, like, we'd make eye contact, and it was really super uncomfortable, you know, because like I just look at each other, and you're like, why are you looking at me, dude? Like, what are you thinking right now? And I was like, well, maybe I want to kill you. You know?
Is he a big guy?
No. I mean, he's stocky, but he's like, I don't know, 5'8" with heels on.
How did you go about that? I mean, this is the thing that I've noticed since I've been following you. Your persona is a little different, I think, on Instagram than it is in person.
Well, everyone could talk shit, you know. You can get away with more when you're running your mouth, and I don't want to talk shit to the point where like I'm calling somebody out to like fight.
Have you had it happen?
Fight somebody?
No, like someone gets so mad at you that you posted something that they want to fight you.
My wife.
Oh, she get mad. She'll look at the Instagram.
She gets mad at all the shit that I do.
Really?
Oh yeah.
She got to keep you under control.
I mean, she tries.
Oh
yeah.
I hope she's listening to this.
Oh, she's not.
You're gonna get it.
She's probably gonna hear it. I don't care. I'd rather deal with her than
some of the assholes.
Yeah, some of the people that we deal with on a daily basis.
No, I mean because you say some funny ass shit. I think it's hilarious.
I think it's just it keeps you going, or it keeps me going. Like anyone that runs a boat, like an important part of our life. I think when you're talking on the radio and you're just dealing with the same people more than you're dealing with your family.
Yeah.
I mean, you build this rapport of, dude, you're just normal dudes out there on the boat and talking shit's fun.
It is, but so the captains I've had on have been like Mitch, Phil.
I'm good friends with Mitch.
Eric Land is fine. He's coming on right after you. He said back in the day, you got your balls busted a little different than you do nowadays.
Well, yeah.
When do you think what do you think that did and when did it end? So like, I know now it's like I hang out with a lot of dudes the same age as me because I know they can take a joke. Yeah. Just like they could take a dick. And you know what I'm saying? But you can't do that as much anymore. You might get a new 14-year-old kid where he's a little sensitive and you can't.
Well, you can't even have a 14-year-old on the boat anymore.
It's got to be 16?
18.
18?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and they have to be a ticketed passenger. It used to be like, you get the permission slip from the parents, like you're going to go on a field trip type of deal, and that was cool.
But boats are different as well.
Oh yeah, because think about it, from a business point of view. If somebody comes on the boat and they let their kid, whether they sign a stupid little piece of paper that says it's fine or not, like the kid gets hurt, like you're screwed, dude.
Yeah, you're fucked.
The business is screwed.
Yeah.
And even with that piece of paper giving them permission, like that doesn't mean anything in California. You sign a waiver all the time, but if you sign a waiver and you die in a skydiving accident, rest assured your family's going to sue that company and win something.
Right. So did you have to like learn to kind of like tone it down maybe a little, like because I could see me being on a boat saying some real fucked up shit. I got a 16-year-old.
No, dude, our if we were like wired or bugged in the wheelhouse. When all the crew's up there just talking normal conversations, a couple of us probably be in prison.
Right.
Yeah, no, and most of us wouldn't have jobs, but that's just the way, like that's the way you talk. It's like people call it, trash talk, or they call it toilet talk, or whatever you want to call it. But that's a normal conversation between crew members, or a normal conversation between like one guy to another on a radio.
Will you get people like Karens that come on and it's kind of like,
really.
Yelp you?
No, not really.
No,
and I wouldn't know because I don't have Yelp, so they can say whatever they want.
But I'm sure people do it.
Yeah, I mean, there's times.
Or do they call the landing and go, "Hey, this captain's a real asshole. He's inappropriate. Or I can't stand him."
Emails are the big thing now.
They'll email your
send an email, and it's very few and far between, and most of them are just brushed aside. Just go, we drove around all day, didn't catch anything, and like any other things you want to talk about? Like, and then if they do happen to have the captain was kind of rude, or not on our boat, but just in general, now people don't have to ever say anything in person.
They could. Would you go out and like say if someone said, "Hey, this guy was an asshole," would you be like, "Sorry if you had that experience"?
For sure. If somebody came up to the wheelhouse and said, "Hey, your crew member, is being a dick to me," I'd have to no other reason other than the fact that I don't need bad press and the boat doesn't need bad press. I'd pull the crew member aside and go, "Hey, dude, I don't care if you're right, care if you're wrong.
Yeah,
go out there and apologize. You don't even have to mean it."
That's a hard thing, and you feel like that. I feel like that's nowadays. Period with the social media.
Everyone's got a voice.
Everyone has a voice. Talking to someone in person. Like I've even, with this podcast, I've had people where I've ran into them and they're fucking assholes.
Oh, yeah.
And I went to Fred Hall and I said, "Dude, what the fuck is your problem?" And we squashed it and it was cool.
Yeah.
And
it's easier to settle a dispute face to face, It's one thing. People, you don't have to be personal anymore, If you had a problem, you went to a restaurant and the food is horrible. I'm not the type of person that's going to send it back. I'm also not the type of person that's going to complain because a waiter and waitress's crap's hard enough. Like I've gotten the wrong meal before and just like, well, I guess I'll just eat this, and it was fine. That some people will actually just complain, have it sent back, want it for free, and then leave a 1-star Yelp rating. It's like, dude, like what's your problem?
And I feel like fishing, you can't take it the same way because it's like we don't know what the fuck's gonna happen in the ocean.
Dude, it's fishing.
Yeah. It's not catching, it's fishing.
How many? I mean, when you go fishing freshwater, even saltwater, how many days have you been out there and had a horrible day?
Always.
But not caught anything.
No, lately it's been bad.
But do you get mad?
No,
because you're out there. You're
usually
not
drunk.
You're not working, right? So I don't know. I think it's just changed a lot. People. I talked about it. I told you before we started this thing. I did another podcast with another guy.
Yeah.
People expect a lot. You're spending $200 to go fishing or $300 to go fishing, and they bring home a fish, and I hear people talking all the time like, "Oh, this is like $75 a pound."
Yeah.
And they try to like justify it. Like if you want fish, go buy it. If you want a guarantee, right?
Well, that's when I say like a lot of the times people go, when I go out fishing, this is what I'm looking for. When I go out fishing, it's usually with a good buddy of mine, and we shoot the shit the whole time. I'm not catch shit.
Oh,
but it's just like almost a therapy session.
For sure.
You're gonna talk shit about something that's bugging you, or.
But I get it. I get like I said, the money part of things. Like it's disappointing, but you don't think it's disappointing for me? Like when we go out there and just eat it, just eat, just all day long, and you're like, why would I purposely do this to myself? You know what I mean?
So here's a question for you. I've heard people poo-poo like Cameron McLeod and Jay about code groups. Do you have a code group?
Oh, for sure.
You do?
Yeah.
You need that.
Absolutely. You got to have people.
You think that's more of like a business move too? Like, or you just have boys that you grew up with or you cut your teeth with, that you have a group of them and you guys kind of take care of each other more?
I mean, it's just the guys that you work with. And you work because the relationship's there. Honesty, you got guys that you're working with that'll tell you the information as it's happening, not after the fact. You never want to be cool with somebody, then all of a sudden like they see you and then you didn't call them, and then you call them later and get called a sandbagger or something like that.
So that could end a friendship.
And then I mean you can get guys get kicked out of groups. We don't have like a set code group, but we do. We have these digital radios that only 4 or 5 guys.
So you have like a set number on there that connects you guys.
And everyone talks, and you can hear the other people talking, and it beeps in, and you can see like what boat's calling, and then we have dispatch too. But you got groups, and then you have guys that are outside of our, LA County, Orange County.
You have skiff guys too as well that you
sure,
that you just kind of go, hey.
I don't just talk trash on all skiffs.
I do not like them.
Some I don't like idiots.
What's your skiff rule? Because so I talked to Phil and Mitch.
Yeah.
I'm only talking about them. I just had them on last week.
Oh, they know just as bad.
100, he said 100 yards.
100 yards would be like respectable. For island fishing, there's a difference.
Island fishing is a different story, right?
Offshore fishing, we like to give other guys, you never drive super close upswell of anybody that's drifting,
Mm-hmm.
Try to keep, I don't know, I do. Try to keep half-mile distance. That way you're
With you, though, a bigger boat, it's a different story, right? Like,
for sure.
But, so skiff, how close have they fucking came up on you?
So, I can't even think of a single occasion. They all kind of like blend together. But I was kind of thinking about how this interview was going to go last night. In one instance this year.
See, this is the thing. Did people tell you that I'm trying to fucking troll you or trying to get you to? I'm not doing that. Where the hell are you guys?
No. I got to set myself up. I have to have some kind of viable information to be giving you here and not look like a complete dick. One particular. So this year that you heard about all that bluefin that was right behind Catalina. Yeah. That's great because it's close. It's also not great because it's close.
Yes.
So that stuff ended up, towards the afternoon was walking its way up to the west off that ridge that runs up towards Santa Barbara Island. Well, we ended up getting on a big breezer fish, and it was getting ready to go. Fish start boiling around. We start hooking them. We're losing a lot of fish, more than we should be. And I'm back there, and probably saying things that I probably shouldn't be saying, and to paying customers. And then like one of my crew members like looks down from the bait tank, looking at me like, dude.
Yeah. Oh, the people are hearing you say shit.
Yeah, well, how can they not? I'm just back there like, hey, good job losing that fish, man. Let's, glad you paid $200 to do that, right? And then,
they fucking heard you say.
Yeah, of course. And I'd speak your mind, but it's just like, why would you spend all this money to just blow it,
But They just don't know, though.
Sometimes, it's just, there was a lot of...
Like, if I went, I don't know how to fucking fish a bluefin. I'll tell you right now. I don't fucking have one clue.
It's just like any other fishing. There's just certain things, like, people using J-hooks when they're supposed to be using circle hooks, or people fishing...
So do you feel like maybe they don't listen?
I think a lot of people, and I'm not going to say everyone, doesn't like to take advice, period, because, dude, we're guys, we're macho, like, oh, I've done this before. I know what you're talking about, Junior, like you got some, like Brian running the boat. He's 25 years old, and you got guys that I've been doing this since you were, you weren't even a glimmer in your mom's eyes or whatever. And you're like,
I know what you really wanted to say, but you did very good job.
You like that though? It still works. But in this particular day, and it's going. I start hearing a few thuds because I go in the wheelhouse because my deckhand told me, like, dude, you can't be around these people right now. Like, you're ruining it for us.
How many fish do you think you guys lost? Like, you could have landed. And now,
realistically,
this is another thing. You're looking to bring these on the boat because the counts of fish
dude,
help.
It helps me. It helps the following trips.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, do you get mad? Here's a real quick question. I'm a calico guy. I don't keep them.
Knock yourself out.
Would you keep them? Or would you get mad if I threw them? Like, say I caught like an 8-pounder and threw it back?
No.
Would you count it as a fish though? You caught?
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's a legal fish and we throw it back, we tab them.
Tab them. Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Yeah.
And we're starting to see. I mean, we'll go back to that one. So anyway, I start hearing a few thuds because I go up into the wheelhouse and I'm just sitting in my little bunk that's underneath the helm, and I'm sitting there and I hear like footsteps, pitter patter. I was like, whatever. So I lay down and I'm not sleeping, I'm just laying there, and I hear thud, another thud, whatever. So about an hour goes by. And I'm still hearing it, and I get up, and I was like, what's up? And he's like, dude, we need 2 fish, and we're done. And when I went to bed and laid there, when I got out of there, there was 0 boats when I got there, and there was a guy, realistically, 27 feet off my bow was the closest.
That's close.
You could see, individual, facial hairs. It was like I got a beard, like you can see a beard from 100 feet away. Like you could see, he needs to shave his cheekbones a little bit. That's how close he was.
We know you look like Wolverine, so we see you from a long distance, Logan.
That was bad, and that was one of it was realistically.
So what do you do? Like, do you go, bro? Come on.
Yeah, I mean,
but you're mad at it. I feel like you've done this so much, you don't want to deal with it.
If it's screwing you up. Which it definitely, the bite started to peter as more and more boats get out. Because the fish start to spread around, You got other boats that are dumping little dippers of bait, and whatever you had gathered around you starts going over towards them, and then so on and so forth. It kind of spreads like a cancer, And then you take what was completely right underneath your boat or within 100 yards around your boat, and it's spread over an eighth of a mile area now. So it sucks. But, I mean, I get it. People want to come out and fish, but, there's guys that find their own stuff all the time that run private boats, And
do you think that's because of they know your boat, so they're just going to follow you, or is it because of AIS, or is it because of what is it?
Just depends.
Really?
There's tons of factors that go into them finding you. Obviously, the
boat numbers,
right? Yeah. I mean, if they saw that you turned in and you're still drifting, and they happen to have phone service, like let's say we're fishing off the back of Clemente, and we turn in the fish count and say, hey, we got 13, 14 fish on deck with 10 hanging. All of a sudden, you go up around the west end, you got phone service, and you can check your little AIS app, and you go, oh, crap, you just turned in a fish count on 976, and they're still hanging. You could go right towards me or right towards whoever it may be.
Can you explain AIS? Because I have a lot of freshwater guys that don't know what.
Yeah, it's basically like sends out a beacon of your position, your speed, your course, and it's used for navigation. That's the reason the Coast Guard started requiring it on boats over 65 feet was a safety deal, or so they said. We kind of talked about it today on the boat. Like, why, if that's the case, then why don't all boats have them?
Like 16, whatever's on the ocean should have one.
Yeah, I mean, it's not cheap. But there's probably
a way to make it happen. But it would make an even playing field, like where it's like, hey.
Well, if it's all about safety, then why not everyone follow the same safety? Why does a boat under...
Maybe because you hold more people.
Well, I know, but what about a sport boat that's 64.9, not 65 feet?
Oh, it's 65 and over.
Yeah.
So all the 65 and under don't have to have
and it's a great tool if you're cruising around at night, because it's all
in the fog,
interphased into your plotter.
Yeah.
You can see boats that have AIS, and it's a handy tool if you're driving. I get that part of it, but it tells you where you're at all the time.
When did you guys have to start having that on?
I don't know when that started. Probably within the decade or something like that.
Do you remember when it happened and did it really fuck up everything? Like, did it change the game or did people not get it?
Never bothered me before, but the old boat was only, it was only 58 feet long, so we didn't have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but do you remember when people started going, what the fuck? People are showing up. They never were there before. Did it?
I think
it change the people encroaching on your numbers? Like where you're at.
I just think that the whole thing started right around when fishing started getting good again, 2014. When that tuna fishing was good. More and more people started buying boats. More and more.
Did you see the Parker rage happen then?
There was dudes that had Parkers before that, and those guys were hot shit. Like they were good.
Yeah.
There wasn't many of them, but if you ever saw a guy that had a Parker.
They knew what they were doing.
Yeah, there was dudes we used to see at SBI all the time or Clemente and stuff, and a couple of the guys I know well, and some of them I didn't know well, but you'd see him and you're like, dude, that guy's like, he's sitting good. He knows what he's doing, alpha position. He's got, he's up current of the spot and like, hats off.
Yeah.
Hats off. But then you see guys now and it's not really like I think it maybe used to be like a badge of honor to have a nice boat like that. And now it's just, you get them out of a Cracker Jack box.
You have been a topic of this podcast for a minute because I've had Billy on a couple of times, and so you and Billy, this is the crazy thing.
I know him.
You guys used to be friends.
Yeah,
right.
I thought I don't hate. Hate's a strong word. I don't even dislike him as a person. It's just the some of the stuff that goes on. The information selling stuff is. I've always thought, or at least when I was brought up, like in the very beginning. You hear it from the old guys, the guys that those are your mentors back in the day. That you never burn people's spots. Why would you burn your own spot?
So if he burnt his own, would it bug you?
I don't give a shit. But
it's when he's burning someone.
I think it's just the principle of just selling information. It's like we talked prior to the show. Also, you guys bass fish freshwater. If there's a guy that was running charters, but then he was also selling where he was catching fish or where.
He saw you catching fish or whoever,
That'd piss a lot of people off.
Yeah.
So that for that analogy, but if people are willing to pay it, then I guess, power to you, I guess.
Yeah, that's a hard one. It's
not my deal. I don't respect it. Does he catch fish? Sure, he's out there a lot, and it's.
And you guys used to talk. You guys were buddies. Like you saw him out there. He had a Parker then, right?
Came fishing with us a few times.
Wow.
We went to. He's got a couple buddies that own some restaurants. We went to lunch with them before, and ice cream one night with my wife and him. Yeah, I don't.
And see, I think
I don't hate the guy.
Well, this is when I talk to you. When I tell you, like, we see your persona on. Cameron came on. Okay, Cameron and goes, look, I don't wish any ill will. Like he's like, people are coming and fucking his shit up. I'm not part of that. It's like I just think he's a joker. That's what Cameron says.
Oh, for sure.
And I feel like. People think that you have this vendetta against him. I think
I got most of the time better things to do. Like my deckhand made that Jeff EM Poach website, and I think he was in a situation where he was. I think he had an argument with his parents. He was living at their house, and they kicked him out. I'm not going to name names. And he was in a hotel room. I think he was drinking beers in his hotel room, and he sends me this text message. We're at Clemente. He's like, "Hey, dude, you got to log on." I was like, what are you talking about? Like, he sends me the link, and I clicked on it. I was like, oh, fuck. Like, what have we started, you know? And it was all these testimonials that were fake. Like, it was creative. He went on one of those, website creators, and it was like a free trial or something like that. And then they wanted like $100 and I don't know what it was $100 or $300 a month to talk shit, and it's like, dude, I'm not going to pay money to go out of my way to be a piece, but it was just, it was more of a parody,
You're fucking around.
Yeah.
You're fucking around.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's funny.
And I think, and I feel like maybe people, this comes back to the whole thing of people don't have as tough skin as I think, like you're same age as me.
Yeah.
When you'd be in school, people would make fun of you or get hit in the face. It's like, okay, you'd come to school, you knew, man, I just got punched in the face. I'm going to have to deal with this tomorrow.
Right.
I got fucked up by someone. Yeah. Like, I'm done. You don't have that nowadays. It's like, no, different.
Anyone can say whatever they want. Yeah. And it's fine. It's just, I think people take things like literally.
Yeah.
Seriously, the whole time, you can't talk shit and then all of a sudden they're like, man, that Jeff guy's, he sure is a dick, and it's like, dude, that's real life. I got better things. Like I make sourdough bread, you want to make fun of me?
Do you really make sourdough bread?
I do.
How long do you have your starter?
My starter's almost a year old.
My mom and dad threw away a fucking 50-year-old starter.
Yeah. So I got into that when we got shut down, and I post something and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, you're turning into a housewife." It's like, dude, I don't give a shit what you say. Like I'll wear a fucking skirt and make sourdough bread. This stuff's bomb. It's
good.
Yeah.
My friend's wife makes it. Yeah. We use the tri-tip. Yeah. Put it on the Traeger. Sandwiches with the sourdough. Oh, it's good. No, so that's your hobby out of Motown.
Cooking.
Motown too, right?
Motown music, hip hop. I mean, I grew up in the, graduated in '99, so all that stuff from the '90s rock and stuff was good, and then it just seems like it's hit the wall, right around 2000 on everything.
And you're busy, like you're not listening to music when you're in the wheelhouse. You're fishing.
No, I used to bump.
Did you?
Yeah, we got one of those like sound bars in there. I brought it over from the old boat. Yeah, no, like there's times where you should have been like paying attention and stuff, but like you're island fishing, like no one, at least me, I don't drive around with the sonar noise on. You're just going to be pinging the bottom with the sonar the whole time, so it's pretty annoying. Listen to music, but I've cut back a little bit.
Yeah. Have you ever had fights on the boat?
Occasionally.
Really?
It's pretty short-lived,
Yeah. You've never had to go back in because of it?
No.
That's good.
Medical stuff, we've had to come back in. And
no one die?
Oh, we had a guy die on the boat.
Really?
Yeah.
I had talked to, I think it's Alec Robbie.
Yeah.
He had a person died too. You had to put him.
Yeah, no.
Did you keep the trip going or did you come back?
No, we were coming back in. Kind of happened right in the morning, right at gray light. Grab one of these things.
Heart attack?
Heart attack had to have been, just.
Was he older?
Yeah, he's probably in his early 60s, and then I was still sleeping. My second was up. We were on the anchor, and it was getting right about the time where it's gray light. We're just started hanging a few fish. This guy set the hook and apparently just thudded to the ground.
Oh, it was while he was fishing.
Yeah, he hooked a fish and lights out.
Fuck. Dude.
And one of our guys that comes fishing with us, he's an RN, and they started compressions immediately. And him and 3 deckhands had to do it. And I'm basically. I run up there in a panic. I get on the radio instantly and start calling. We're at Clemente. We're on the west end. We're close. Like maybe
someone could be at Catalina or
somebody at Clemente could have come and got him. And Clemente doesn't offer. I think they probably just do first aid and stuff, but I think they just medevac people. And by the time we came around, the west end of the island, the west end's a big area to go around.
It's huge. Yeah.
It's 40 minutes, and they'd still given compressions, and it's just like we called it.
So what do you do then?
We just left him on the deck. Left him on the deck and brought
him.
Yeah, it sucked, dude. It was.
That's a crazy experience.
We brought the bunk pad that he was sleeping. We brought the bunk pad and we lifted him onto the bunk pad and then we covered him with a couple blankets. Well, I wasn't going to bring a deceased man down in the bunker room and make this house of horrors for the rest of the crew, passengers down there. So I don't really know the situation of how you could have made it easier for everyone else, but I just figured, leaving him there as he lied was probably the best.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That was the wildest thing you've ever had to experience on the boat, or no?
Yeah, I mean, we did everyone always kind of freaks out about having to do the medevac stuff, and it was bitching. It was fucking cool, dude. Yeah, this dude just rappels down this line.
Why did you have to do they came and got the body?
Yeah, no. This is a different
guy.
Yeah, this guy, insulin dependent, which you would think, you're insulin dependent. Why would you forget your insulin? Forgot his insulin. We don't have the test kits on the boat.
Yeah.
And then people go, well, you should have tested his, blood sugar. And I was like, dude, I'm not a nurse. I don't want to have this stuff on the boat. Or you should have given him a candy bar. Well, what if he wasn't? You give him a candy bar and his insulin's high, then you're gonna, knock him out that way. So they came and got him, and this, you have to make your best made speed and keep your course. And this helicopter comes up behind you, and you're kind of going into the breeze to keep the helicopter right there. And this dude comes down, drops a basket, and he was bored. This dude was perfect specimen of a guy. He's 5'11" and chiseled,
ripped,
this little jumpsuit on and a helmet with these cool microphones and stuff, and then loads the guy in the basket, and he's just sitting there looking up, waiting for the basket to come back up. He's yawning. I was like, what the hell? And then he clips in and he gives us a peace sign when he's 20 feet on, just disappears into this helicopter. I was like, wow, that was awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild. Have you ever had people where they do stress calls and you have to go help?
We had a couple times. We had to pick a kayak guy that was just getting pounded. There was a big south swell, and this was years ago. I don't remember exactly complete details, but we saw these kayaker guys. Where Seal Rocks is on the front of the island there at Catalina. Yeah. I mean, there was a big south swell, and he got pushed right up against the rocks, and that's all gnarly steep pebble beach there, and he kept trying to launch it and just getting smashed by these 6-foot waves. Fuck. So we finally got him to swim along the side of his kayak, and I put the bow in 5 feet of water and threw him a line and kind of drug drug him back, and then had lifeguards come pick him up off the boat.
That's crazy too.
Yeah, that's
shallow.
It's shallow in there, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for you to go...
Well, he was getting hammered, dude. He's just like trying... It was like a shore break, and he was like trying to paddle into it. Like every single time we're like, oh, God, like this guy's going to die.
That's... Have you ever had any other people where you've had to like kind of help them or help a boat out?
We had to rescue a couple divers at Clementi.
Really?
Yeah, got stuck in the current, and we had to have them swim over to the boat because we were on the anchor.
You pull them up?
Yeah, pulled them up one by one. Told them like, hey, you're gonna have to hang out for a little while.
We're fishing.
Yeah, we're fishing. I'll bring you back to your boat in a little bit, but I don't know how long it would have taken the guys on the mothership to notice. You know, and it wasn't a commercial charter or anything like that. But dude, these guys got right on the tip of the island.
Oh, so they were far from the actual mothership, like not.
Yeah, it was like a yacht, and you know where Pyramid Head is at Clementi, and that ridge that runs off the edge of the island there, and the current just, I mean, it rages downhill. Yeah. 2 to 3 knots or 4 knots sometimes, and they got stuck in that, and we were fishing, hanging a few yellowtail here and there, and I kind of saw them coming around the edge of the reef. I was like, man, if these guys get outside this reef, like they're fucking gone. Yeah. Sure as shit, I see them like their big fins kicking as fast as they could, and they're like going backwards as they're kicking.
Scary, dude.
So I told the guys, dude, swim over here. And the current was so strong, we throw him this line. He grabs the line, and it planes him to the surface. Like grabbing like in the movies where like when they rescue somebody in the river and they're like skipping on the water.
That's how strong it was. Oh, shit.
So.
Are you a strong swimmer?
No. Horrible. I'm fat now, so I float better.
No, I mean, I would think like if I was a captain,
I could swim. I'm no.
Have you fell in the water before?
No, not off the boat. Jumped.
Well, I mean, foul like with clothes on, it's a different story. Like when you fall in the water with clothes on,
horrible. And they say the hardest thing to do is to try to deadlift a grown man out of the water. And it's true for sure.
I heard someone had to. I forgot who it was. My buddy Bobby Martinez. He said they had to drag. So his friend had to drag the guy. Back the whole way.
Holy shit!
Get him up.
Yeah, I mean it's just dead weight.
He's too big, so they just had to say, dude, we can't get you up. You got to hold on.
Well, you got to think about it. It's one thing. It's a fish. You just gaff it. You just like manhandle it over the side. Like you're not going to gaff it.
Yeah, I can't gaff you, dude.
You can't just like bend somebody's arm the opposite direction and lift him over your gunnel,
Right. Have you had people fall off the boat ever?
We had a dude. No, not recently. Not that I can remember. Not in recent times. We had a guy jump over a couple times, but he was mental.
Oh, like crazy. Like said, I'm fucking out.
Yeah, we had to bring him in. And
how did you get him in?
Well, he jumped over the first time, and we didn't know he jumped. We thought he slipped, and then a little time had passed. We made our way up the island. Like we're fishing rockfish. This is middle of spring, so the water's got to be in the high 50s or something like that. And my deckhand at the time saw him get a running start and jump, and he dove. So he hit the water, and then he tried to push off the bottom of the boat, like to drown himself.
Oh, he's trying to kill himself on your boat.
And my deckhand on that old boat, the rails are like yay high when you're deck level, so they're pretty low rails. They're right at like the minimum that they're supposed to be for the Coast Guard.
Yeah.
He went underneath the top rail where the bulwarks are and was able to grab the guy's foot as he was kicking underneath the boat. Dude. And I was like, what the? Like this guy.
Did you have to fight him back in?
Kind of, he was kicking and screaming, He like drug him up upside down. Then we had to like grab his pants so he wouldn't drown him upside down. And then we get him onto the deck, and he like lunges forward again. And my deckhand was a big Samoan dude at the time. I just flat back the guy onto the deck, and we kind of accost him a little bit, and like put him down in the bunk room, and like put him in a bunk
door and just
put him on a bunk that like went against the wall, and like his bag was laying there like open. There was like all these like weird pills like in these bottles and like bottles of hooch and stuff.
You think you're just ready to go? Like
I guess, dude. Like he's messed up.
Did you call the Coast Guard on that one?
Yeah, I did. And since it was like we had already kind of had it handled, we still had to fill like a little incident report out. But like we got in, the guy just split.
Oh, really?
I never seen him since. So
that's still wild. I mean,
hopefully got some help or something. I don't know. Like
you have dudes diving off your boat. Shit.
Dude, hope like. Try to think like when stuff like that happens, and it seems like comical at the time, but like had he done it at night, like we never known he was there.
Done.
You can't see everywhere all the time, even with a deckhand cruising around, walking around on deck.
Even in fog, right? I mean,
yeah,
you've been in some gnarly fog
all the time.
Yeah,
it sucks.
That's when it's good to have like the AIS though to see where
if the other boat has it. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Huh?
Yeah.
Like I almost hit like two tankers.
You have your radar too, but it's for bigger boats. It seems like you can get right on top of a skiff sometimes, but that's how long it takes until you see it. So if they're 2 or 3 miles away and it's a tiny, a 15, 18-foot skiff, like they don't really throw out a big signature on the radar.
Just look a little.
You just kind of see it and you're like, man, that's. And then you kind of have to like range your distance down on your radar
to see it.
And you're like, oh shit! But then you have to be close at that point. So if you range down from 3 miles to 0.25 miles, you have to be within 0.25 miles of the guy.
Yeah. It's gone. Then.
Yeah. So the resolution's a little bit higher at that shorter distance, but you're also a quarter mile from the guy.
Yeah.
And if you're going 10 and he's going 30,
he's gonna get there quick.
Yeah, he could be on you really quick. I'm not really worried about ourselves as much as like you got to worry about other people. It's just like driving, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you don't like driving for you, right?
No.
Hate it. Always.
Yeah.
I drive streets when you have to.
Drive streets. Like a little bit more time, you could listen to music.
Well, Motown,
hip hop, whatever. That surprises you a lot, doesn't it?
It does. I didn't think I thought you'd be some like Slayer metal dude, like kind of.
I can do like a little bit of the 80s metal. Late 70s, 80s metal or something.
Motorhead or something.
Iron Maiden, stuff like that. Yeah.
No, I'm very shocked meeting
the classics.
I'm very shocked meeting because I thought you were going to be a real looking asshole.
This stuff wants me to like. I hear that music and I can see how people like. Man, those shows are intense. Like, yeah, of course they are. The music's fucking horrible, dude. Like, I'd be mad too.
No, it's crazy to see your persona though. Like,
I'm the same pretty much. I guess I think people think I'm an asshole, but I don't know. I guess I am, sort of. Aren't we all? Yeah. But I'm not, not arrogant or anything.
Do you feel like you had to change your attitude a little when you became part owner of the boat? Like,
no,
same thing.
No, I mean I got to watch my P's and Q's a little bit.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like there's shit you probably wouldn't have done, like hanging off the back. Really, dickhead, you're missing that fish, kind of thing.
No, that happened this year.
I guess not. Forget it. Forget what I just said.
No, I mean, I can't, I get caught up sometimes. There's been a few times where I have to apologize, or I'll even do it on the PA, like, hey, sorry, guys, I get fired up. But, like, I want to catch fish for them, too.
Yeah.
Are
you out there helping people out, though?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or, out there fishing, hooking and handing. Or, there's some times where, like, it takes a fisherman to go back there just to kind of show people that it's doable. You know what I'm talking about? You get on a spot of fish and there's fish boiling around and no one's hooking them. And let's say, for example, the galley cook comes out and throws a bait and hooks one. It's like, that's how it's done, guys. Just watch,
You're almost giving him a confidence bait, but
I think so. Like you're giving him that you give him a little bit of hope,
Yeah. And who did you cut your teeth with as a captain that you look up to?
John Fisher.
Okay.
He ran the Patriot for forever.
And did you fish under him?
Yeah.
Or are you just a buddy with
No. I mean, he was the guy that ran the boat, and I worked deck with him for a decade.
Really?
Yeah.
Taught you most of what you know.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some other guys that are, through along the way, especially once I started running a boat, Tommy Lee that used to run the Freedom and on the Freedom, and Rick Dosberg on the Fury. But all the old-timer guys, that it always seemed like the guys that were had been doing it the longest time, that'd seen the most, were always the guys that were the most helpful.
Okay.
Helpful? Yeah.
But they could be, there's some guys that are younger that are really good, but maybe just kind of have their own program.
I think there's just a lot of arrogance in the industry of fishing.
So?
Yeah. And lack of respect, I think, from a lot of guys that.
Do you feel like it's still like that now?
Sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
there's guys that are arrogant because they're good, though.
More power to them.
Yeah.
Right?
But there's definitely guys that don't give a shit about being anyone's friend if it means they're catching something and screwing somebody else over. I'm not naming names.
No. I'm not asking.
But that goes with anything. That's you go in the business world. There's people that'll smile in your face and do whatever they can do to
burn the code
get
group,
ahead.
Right?
Exactly, burn the code group.
You ever fish San Diego?
I've been down there a few times.
In your boat, Thunderbird.
We've never ran out of there.
No, like you've never say the bite was crazy.
Oh yeah. No, there's been years where we spent a heavy portion of the year below the border.
How long does it take you to get there?
It's only 60 miles.
Oh, really?
60 miles or so of the border. I think maybe 58, something like that.
Yeah.
So
because I feel like San Diego, from what I've heard from guys, is its own fishery, its own little area.
It is. It's got all those inner banks and stuff down there. Yeah. It's different. A different area. Just there's more.
Do you think the fishing's better down there?
Not necessarily.
No.
It's been a lot of last couple of years, especially with this bluefin stuff going on. That stuff doesn't stick down there. It's always up here. So we end up. Coming around the corner at Clemente and, the entire long range fleet's there, and you're like, oh shit, we're with the big boys now. And it was kind of shocking a few years ago seeing it. And then now it's just talked to a few of the guys. Well, some of the guys don't give you the time of day, or at least me. But they don't have to,
Maybe because they see you don't. I mean,
there's no reason to talk to me, and there's no reason for me to talk to them. I don't need to know what's going on at the Lehos Rocks,
Right.
700 miles from my harbor. Like, oh, how's it wahoo fishing down there? Thanks, man.
Or you could just be talking to dude just to be
Some
nice.
of the guys, like I said, some of the guys we do talk. I got crew members that used to work at our landing that work on a couple boats down there, and there's definitely everyone's got a little bit of a rapport with one another.
Yes.
But there's just certain boats you just drive by, look at them like this, and just turn. Even if they did call you, just turn the volume down. Like, fuck that guy.
How many captains have you made? Guys that train under you that
that ended up getting their licenses. Yeah. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got Brian, and he's still there. My buddy Mitch, he runs a yacht. Mm-hmm. He's on Instagram. He runs a yacht now. He got his license, but he had time from other boats, and then I'm sure he used the time from our boat too.
Yeah.
Our deckhand Cole, he got a license. He's running a yacht now. So it seems to sport boats are a stepping stone for some guys. You
don't feel like that's the end game for a lot of guys? They want to go do yachts and.
I don't know. It just depends on the guy that you work for. You know, what if the guy sells his boat? You don't have a boat anymore.
So the goal when you're a captain is to get a boat.
Yeah, I think so.
You want to get a boat.
Yeah, get a boat and.
What's next?
Death.
This is what you want to do the rest of your life.
Yeah, I'm not going to be running a boat when I'm 70. I hope.
Oh, I mean, you're only 40, dude.
I know.
That's young. That's 20 more years of doing the same thing you're fucking doing right now.
40 plus 20 is 60. I call it. If I do 20 more years of this, I'm out.
Have you ever thought like, fuck this, I'm done?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Just, I don't know. It's not fun sometimes,
You think
it's not even like a job. It's just sometimes you're sitting there and you're going, this isn't even worth it.
How many times have you been overfishing? Because
Recently?
a lot of guys say, I love fishing. Dude, I'm not kidding. I've been over it because this is my.
I don't really fish that much.
That's the truth, I guess.
Yeah.
Too, yeah.
I mean, I fish on the boat. I get to fish whenever I want, but like people go, hey, you want to come fishing this weekend? It's like, why would I work 10 days in a row or 8 days or 7 days or whatever it might be, and then get off the boat that night and then wake up at 3 a.m. to go to San Clemente Island to catch a fucking bass or a yellowtail?
You don't like bass?
I love bass. Bass fishing's great.
You just went down south, right?
Gonzaga. Yeah.
How was that?
It's awesome.
Yeah, you like doing that.
I do, but I think everyone, I post these pictures. We get back from our trip, me and my buddy Carmelo, and
he's a funny guy.
Yeah,
dude.
he's cool.
Yeah.
He's a homie.
He's one of your good buddies, huh?
Yeah, close friend. But everyone just sees the pictures and they just assume like we go down there for this 2-week fishing excursion. It's like, come on, man.
What are you doing the whole time?
Drinking.
The funner thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, just honestly, like I think some people might think it's kind of boring. We sit there.
You detox.
Yeah, you decompress. You go down. We don't have phone service. I don't have to worry about looking at my stupid phone and getting in trouble for my wife or being on Instagram or Facebook all night long instead of listening.
That's the key one. Getting in trouble for my wife.
But
so
no,
you're gone for 2. Do you have kids?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a.
I told my wife, because we're going on our 10-year anniversary, if I do happen to have a child out there, it's at least 10 years old. Just to keep it real,
Are you planning on having kids?
No.
Why not?
We got dogs and stuff.
You don't like kids? I mean, you don't feel like taking the responsibility right now of having
kids. It would change both of our lives. I mean, we both have to work. Southern California, you can't just be a stay-at-home mom or dad anymore unless somebody's packing in that fat salary, which I'm not, We're doing okay for ourselves, but it would definitely change our freedoms. We got buddies that live in the same neighborhood as us, like almost it is walking distance. It's just nice to like impromptu just go have some drinks one night and not have to worry about a babysitter.
It's just like having the kind of freedom.
We have freedom, yeah.
I'm the complete opposite of you.
Yeah.
But mine was I call my son the career ender.
Oh yeah.
I quit the band, bro. I mean, so it's I don't know. It's cool to hear when people are like, man, I love that, but I mean, you don't know until you don't have it. But
I feel bad for my parents more. We kind of talk about it occasionally. Like my mom would be so stoked to have a grandkid.
Do you have brothers, sisters?
I have a brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does he fish too?
No, he's not opposed to it, but he's not into it. He lives up in Seattle, so he's got access to stuff up there. But
yeah,
I think he's like trying to get into it a little bit more again. But it's you get to a certain age, and he's a 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week guy.
Doing his deal.
And then you get the weekends off with your wife or your friends, and when your friends aren't into fishing, it just seems a bit strange that you just disappear for the weekend.
Will you go and hang out with your friends that don't fish?
Sure, yeah.
Just because to get a different.
I don't have. It just seems most of the friends that I have are people that.
You got more beers. Don't worry.
Are into fishing. Well, I got to drive at some point.
Okay.
So.
Well, you only had one.
I know.
Or two. Don't worry, you're fine.
I know, and I'm fat too, so I can drink a few. Most of my friends, whether or not they, some of them did work on boats, some of them still work on boats, and some of them don't work on boats anymore.
Yeah.
Or they just fish, But we have a common. But I don't get off the boat and then come home and they don't ask me, hey, let's talk about fishing for 3 hours. It's just normal talk. We talk about our smokers or what we're gonna barbecue that week or.
So that's another thing you're into is barbecue.
Smoking, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot.
And what kind do you have?
I have Rectech.
Because you don't want a Traeger?
No, I actually had. So we were given a Traeger, a smaller one, from my sister-in-law.
Okay.
And gave that thing a little spin, and it was too small for the amount of stuff that I cooked.
Okay.
So we have a lot of our holidays, our Thanksgiving, Christmas, and all that stuff, Easter, and just in general, if we have people over, I like to think we know have a good time. We have a lot of people over, 20, 30, 40 people sometimes, 50. It was not. I think I cooked for Christmas, and I had to do it was 6 racks or 7 racks of ribs, a couple turkeys. Dude, it was one of those little shitbag ones.
We're using a Ranger. That's a little.
Yeah. Well, they gave it to me. It's free.
So then if you bought a bigger one, I have the 650.
Well, that's where I'm going with this. Okay. So I was fuck, this thing's small. So I start looking at Traegers, and the pricing doesn't bother me. I'm not going to spend $10,000 on a smoker. That's a little much for me. I can buy a shitty car for $10,000. Actually, a pretty nice car. You can get a trailer for $10,000.
Yeah.
So anyway, I started looking around. Traeger, I got a couple buddies with Traegers, and obviously I have a Traeger sitting over there, guys. Traeger this, Traeger that, and I started kind of doing a little, product research. Not like I was doing a fucking paper or anything like that, but Googled, best smokers, and started clicking on this, that, and the other, and that Rectech just kind of kept popping up, in the top 1 or 2 or 3. And I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I bought the thing, and it's made in America. Makes you kind of feel a little warm and fuzzy.
Are you big about that?
Ish.
Rods? Are you using Seeker rods? I have
some Seeker stuff. I have rods from, 1950 to recent stuff, but Seeker's got some nice stuff. CalStar's got some killer stuff, but another American company.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Will you go out of your way to buy American-made rods?
Oh, for sure.
You get to see the gear hold up because you see all these dudes come in with different shit. Yeah. Are you a fan of the Tranx 500?
I have one. So
we had a round table with all surface iron guys. I have no application for it. I have 2 of them. And I brought it down to Gonzaga, and it's dude, it feels it's huge. Yes.
It's big. So I'm trying to throw it, and it's so awkward and stupid. And then it looks like a robot or something, like a gay R2D2 or something like that.
A gay R2D2.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be one of these drops like this.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm going to have one of those drops with a gay R2D2.
It's really awkward, but I've used them. I've seen guys use them on the boat for the surface iron. I don't know if it's I'm not necessarily against a bait caster for a surface iron reel. I just always had an open face.
You're just used to it.
Yeah,
old school
Trinidad, a Newell, or an old Jigmaster where that's all kitted out or something.
Does it fuck the swim up? Do you? I mean, you do a lot of this. Do you think that the bait caster does?
I just find myself always putting my hand in front of the reel when I'm holding it.
Even if you have a level one, it doesn't matter.
Still, then at the end of the day, it's why am I guiding it? But then you look all stupid when you're trying to the trigger grip, and I hate when people have their hand below the trigger.
That's if you don't know.
Yeah.
Everyone holds their bait. I hold the reel in my hand.
I hold it like this, cradle it, or my hand above it. But I see people like this, and it's sometimes you see.
But are they noobs though? I mean, is it someone that?
No, I've seen that the professional bass fishermen on TV. Some of those guys do it, and it's gosh, dang man.
What are you watching?
No, the FLW tour way back in the day. Remember that stuff or Bassmasters?
They still have it on.
I know. I don't watch it anymore. But when I was a kid, I just look at them. I was looking at my dad. I was like, "Are you supposed to hold a reel like that?" He's like, "No, you put your hand above it." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Everyone does.
Yeah.
There's a couple guys I think that still do that.
It just looks weird. I
don't feel like you can fight the fish correctly.
There's no leverage.
Yeah,
you don't hold the butt of the rod and then have the reel up here. You put your hand above it.
Yeah.
You got to have a leverage
point.
Or
you put it under your armpit.
Exactly. So,
But you don't use it tranks really. You tried to use it in Gonzaga, right? Like when you went down there, were you using it then or no?
Yeah, I brought it down there this year, and I use that tranks 400.
You like that?
Yeah, I do a lot.
You use that for like jerk baits or something?
We fish those like what do you call them, stick baits or whatever, the SP minnows. Yeah. Gary Reyes, I think you've had him on here before. Plastics. He gave me a bunch of.
He's a real piece of shit. He lives up the street.
He gave me this care package of like all these swim baits to bring down there, and with the swim baits down there just don't hold up. Not because he made them, but because
they bite them off,
the triggerfish just fucking like they eat them like candy.
Yeah.
But my buddy Mello caught a nice one on Gary's bait, but he also gave me this promo box of all these SP minnows. Like I had to open up the box. I was like, dude, this guy robbed a Iowa truck or something. It was like a lot.
Must be nice, pro staff.
Yeah, it's like it ended up being like 3 trays full. You know, they were sinking and the floating, and then you gotta out of the package those things. We've learned you can't. They're fine if you're catching all the same grade, calicos or whatever. Even with the calicos, because like I don't use pliers most of the time. Like twist it so you're constantly popping the hook sideways. You end up snapping the hooks off. Mm-hmm. If you hook a big fish, since you're fishing that heavier braid with an abrasion leader, some kind of shock leader, not even fluorocarbon, you don't need it, but like a 60 or 80 pound shock leader. Dude, if you set the hook with button drag or get bit with button drag, like we brought it with the split rings were gone.
Dude. So did you change out everything before you went down?
Yeah.
What did you change the hooks out to, like 2X or 3X?
We went to those like 3X, the owner replacement ones, and it seems like they're kind of like it seems like the points almost come in.
Yeah.
And then we have a few of them with those single hooks.
Oh, for the like help, so you don't.
Yeah, well, the hook faces down like a J, and it's like the rings. I don't really know if we'd notice a difference as far as the way they swam. I do notice all of those things when we're down there. The heavier the leader you fish, the shittier they swim. Yeah.
Right. What were you fishing down there?
That X-Wrap.
Really?
Bait.
And what size line were you using?
I think
30 or 40?
65.
Ooh, you're going heavy with the leader?
65 Spectre to a 60 or 80 leader.
Oh, shit. That's fucking heavy.
It still breaks sometimes.
These things are crazy. They fight crazy.
Well, it's not. I don't think it doesn't seem like they fight very long. It's just the area that you're catching them. So
these are all the groupers you're catching.
Yeah, those leopard grouper, cabiria, they call them. Yeah.
They good?
Killer.
Really?
Yeah. Killer.
That looks so fun to go down there. Did you ever run the trip down there or anything like that?
No. And we go down there and there's that one little hotel, and we just kind of arrange the ponga through the hotel. The guys come and pick us up at our camp.
So there's a whole hotel you guys go to all the
No, we camp, but there's a small, and by hotel that might be a stretch. It's like it's been there since like the 60s, Alfonsinas. It's actually really not.
Is it sketchy going down there? Or
no, it's sketchier to be in.
Can you speak Spanish?
Not only
Carmelo can though.
Yeah, he's my little pet Mexican I bring down there.
People think I'm their pet Mexican, then they find out I'm a coconut and I can't speak Spanish. So I really
he does. It's helpful, but then he just talks shit on me in Spanish all day long to the guys on the ponga and stuff. And I pick up the choice words,
And you're smiling, going, "Look at this stupid."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Hey."
So it's helpful, but it's as far as
you don't feel like it's not sketchy.
If you want to find trouble, I'm not where we're at.
Yeah, but you're just stuck there the whole time.
Pretty much there's no one down there. Yeah. It's like probably in a 10-mile stretch of
coast. You drove there or flew?
We drive.
Okay.
Yeah. Damn, you drive through Mexicali, and San Felipe's chill as hell. Yeah. You can leave stuff in the back of your truck for 3-4 days there, and no one steals it.
Was Rona bad at all, or not really? Just wear a mask. That was it.
In San Felipe, it seemed like everyone was wearing their mask in public, and then you go to the restaurants, you take them off. You know, and then. Down there, no. A couple guys, you'd see people going into the little general store that had them on, and after a while, I was like, fuck, I ain't wearing them. I'm not sick.
Yeah.
There's
What are you, but you guys on the boat that's a mandatory, right?
We can go into that. New executive order just passed, too. Okay. So now it's not a state thing, it's also federal.
You got to do it.
You have to.
Okay. Were you not enforcing it as much, or were you... Now you got to yell at dudes.
It wasn't even like that. It was more, you say your piece, tell the people. Most people left them on. Some people start taking them off, but the crew all wore them. And it's
what's up?
It's just kind of it's a tough situation.
Hold on, I'm sorry. Yes, Andrew. I know. I got him a job. My son got a job.
Nice. 16. Congrats. Yeah. So it's not that we didn't enforce it as policy, but it's how do you enforce something when somebody doesn't do it? Now we have to.
So you're gonna have to go around the boat and be like, "Hey, put the mask on." Pull it up,
now we have to be the Gestapo and go around.
No way, that's gonna suck.
And then if it's a federal deal, so if somebody sees a crew member and wants to call the Coast Guard or call this little NARC hotline that they got on the back.
They have a NARC hotline.
Yeah, it's like a maskwearer.mil, USCG.mil, and it's like, come on, dude. Like, obviously it has to do with the new administration. And I'm not going to bring politics into it.
Did you vote Trump or Biden?
I ain't going to say. I voted for.
I
voted for Kanye.
I think you voted Biden.
I did not vote for Biden.
Just fucking, no. I can tell.
But that's just for the nature of my job. Like anti-environmentalist groups and or environmentalist groups that want to shut us down. Like I can't vote for a party that supports that.
You think people might come on, like environmentalist groups, like will come on just to fuck you to. You know what I'm saying?
No.
To come on just to like go, this guy's not wearing a mask.
No, I think it's just going to be losers that do it. Karens, like you said earlier.
Or dudes that don't like you.
Dudes that don't like me. If they don't like me, then they probably not be on. They're not going to be on the boat, right?
How do you know?
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. They might burn you like the code groups do.
Yeah.
What did you guys just wear buffs though, right? You could just wear
buffs or those stupid little disposable ones.
But I feel like I'd rather just wear buff because it's just easy just to go.
Problem is that it makes the back of your neck all hot,
And you're just if you have a beard or anything, you're like
breathing your own beard air all day long, and the mask
smelling like
stinks.
fucking a douche flute.
Yeah, exactly. I get it. If it's, I just don't. It seems like it's kind of an overstep.
But you get to bring back your work. You know what I'm saying? So you get to bring back where you can work.
Yeah.
Maybe you could bring more people on soon. That's the killer. For me, like I would think I'd want more people to come on the boat because it's more money.
It is, but at the same time, it's more comfortable with less. So if the boat can make the same amount of money or close to the same amount of money and carry less people, why wouldn't we do that?
So do you charge more?
It's more now, but we had to drop our load by 10. So we're kind of like every other bunk and try our best to like stagger people.
You like it the way it is now?
I do.
Okay.
It's definitely you notice a little bit of less this or less that.
It's more, I think, people that are really into it, and less to the people that are just dipping their toes into it. Maybe.
You'd be surprised, man. It was a weird year last year. There was a lot of trogs,
Oh, I guess you're right because.
A lot of trogs.
Because you have people that aren't doing anything. They're like, let's try fishing.
Well, there's a lot of people that we've never. I mean, we have a lot of people that come that are first timers, and that's great. Awesome. Rent rods. I don't care. Have I talked crap about them before and gotten in trouble? For sure. On 976 or whatever. You can't belittle your own passengers. It's like, well.
Wait, they'll complain on 976?
Oh, I complain on 976 about this, that, and the other.
You'll do the report?
Yeah, the recordings. But the last couple of years, I've been a good boy because I kind of got my hand slapped a few years ago. Yeah.
Was it for one reason?
Several.
Okay.
Several recordings. So I let it fly a little bit, but it's the same thing. I got to run a business a little bit too,
That's what I'm saying. You got to learn a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
And when you're like telling the people, hey, if you're gonna come on the boat, we know how to fucking fish, But
that's not always the case. So we're there to help, We're there to help them as much as we possibly can. But at the same time, when there's 27 people, it's a lot easier to kind of give people a little one-on-one,
But I feel like
tutorial.
if I'm going on a day and a half or an overnighter, I should know already. I feel like, right? Because I feel like if I don't know, I'm going on a half day.
You'd think.
Would you want, like, if you could tell new customers, maybe go on a couple of half days, and then step up because then you can learn, okay, what do I use? Know the terminology, like hooks, like line,
A lot of times the people that never been fishing before are the people that always catch on the quickest because they want to learn.
Yeah.
It's like chicks when they come fishing, and they got rental rods and they're with their husband or their boyfriend. They
outfish them.
Women will listen.
Yeah.
Guys are arrogant. And she's sitting there having the time of her life while her loser husband's over there, retying the rig that we just tied and it's all wrong, and you're like, well, whatever. At least somebody's going home with a fish in this family.
You got girls fishing in bikinis and
no.
Alan Watson said one girl caught a nipple in the fucking reel.
Oh God. I've seen people with I remember seeing somebody's hair get stuck in a reel before.
Oh, I could imagine.
Yeah.
Even a guy with long hair.
Yeah.
I
said the stupid. We always all the guys that work on boats for the most part always pull the stupid string out of your sweatshirt because you always get stuck in your reel. It sucks. You're sitting there and a fish's falling your jig or something like that. And you're like, oh shit! And you gotta put it in free spool and pull your stupid string out.
Oh, that's got to be shitty, dude.
Yeah, it sucks.
So knowing a little bit or telling people a little bit like, hey, maybe if, but I guess anyone could come on the boat. What do you suggest? Like, just come fishing or maybe like.
I'd say just come fishing with a good attitude and willing to listen to a crew member. Yeah, I mean, they give a pretty detailed seminar as much as they possibly can and just watch other people. If you're sitting there and your particular technique's not working because you didn't want to listen to somebody, or maybe it changed throughout the day, like we're not rock fishing now, or we're not yellowtail fishing and we're going bottom fishing. If you see a bunch of people like tying a sinker on and putting some hooks on, be a little proactive. My guys can't be there. And guys on boats in general can't be everywhere at once.
You guys don't sell like anything on the boat, like.
We got weights and stuff.
Weights and hooks just in case.
If they absolutely need them, but we don't try to make a business out of it. It's kind of.
But you got to come ready.
For sure.
And you probably get a lot of dudes that just aren't ready.
And you get guys that.
I can imagine you seeing someone with the incorrect rod and reel going, "Oh, you got to be fucking."
You'd be surprised. We've landed some monsters, dude, on like the worst of the worst. We've thrown rent rods back up over the side and landed 100-pound tuna.
No way.
Like tied spinning rods together, like bridled them all together.
That's what I was gonna say. I've heard of people doing that. Like they got to let it go a little.
And we didn't have the float like they have on the long range boats, so they clip them into the top of the reel with the buoys and all that stuff. No, we just tied it to the reel seat and hucked it over the side.
Worked, right?
It worked, dude. We have not lost a rent rod yet doing it. I don't know the condition of the gears of those things afterwards, but they probably weren't good prior to going in the water, so screw it.
When did you become part owner of the Thunderbird?
Right when they got the new boat. So,
okay.
Yeah.
How long has that been?
We started running 2019, so we're going into our third season.
So you're pretty new to being.
Yeah, and it's my wife and I, and it's just a small little chunk for now, but eventually.
But to start.
Yeah.
The goal is to own the boat. Now you got to be Thunderbird Jeff, though. That's the thing.
Well, I run the Thunderbird. My name's Jeff, so it just made sense.
Yeah, now you got that.
I wouldn't call myself freelance Jeff if I ran the Thunderbird, right?
I don't think I'd like that name as much either.
Right.
Freelance. It's kind of.
Yeah. Well, my buddy runs that thing, so.
I know, but
it's Rusty Free.
I'll start by saying
that you're recording.
My recorder fucked up. This is the second time.
And we forgot what we were talking about.
Let me think. Goofy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So important part of the boat.
Yeah, right.
For sure.
He's a big person. Oh, and then Mitch, the dick duster.
Yeah.
What else were we talking about?
Goofy's his huge man crush on Mitch and Mitch's wife.
Goofy.
Yeah.
He loves Mitch. How long have you known Mitch for?
He would take either one of them.
He's into either one.
Yeah.
All right. How long have you known Mitch for? Because it's
been a while.
He's the same age, kind of, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
he's been doing it for a long time as well.
He started probably around the same time I did, I think. I was crew member on that Southern Cal, I think, back in the day.
Were you always out of Newport?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you have Newport, Bird 55, which is Long Beach.
Long Beach or Wilmington area.
22nd Street.
Pier Point.
And then San Pedro.
LA Harbor.
Okay.
Is it still LA Harbor?
I don't know.
I don't know
many about them.
I try not to go up there.
You don't? Why not?
I don't like it.
You don't like LA?
No. Who does?
Well, because you're Orange County. Look at the color
I'm
of
Orange
your skin.
County.
That's why. White guy, of course.
Why would I? If I'm white, why would I like LA? You answered your own question right there.
Yeah,
why wouldn't I like it? Like Santa Monica, maybe.
Do you fish up that way if you need to?
I have been up there. Oh, like fishing
for what I mean out
for
of
recreation?
Out of the boat. Like,
oh, I mean, we get up to the same areas as those guys do. I mean, but
the thing is a lot of your stuff, the 3/4 day stuff. Are you fishing locally? You're inshore, right?
3/4 is going to be. I mean, in the summer, Catalina or the.
You'll still run Catalina 3/4.
Oh, for sure, yeah,
okay.
Yeah. No one wants to be stuck on the beach in this day and age.
No,
fishing
you think it's that bad now?
It's pretty shitty.
The beach.
Yeah.
You weren't catching yellowtail.
I mean, you do.
It's
been a few years since it was consistent, really good yellowtail fishing, but that was an El Nino year. Do you remember when
MLPA was open with Laguna? Were you fishing Laguna?
Yeah.
How good was that?
It's all right. It had its moments.
Not that great though.
At times it was.
Really?
Yeah.
This is when I started fishing was like 2010.
And there's some of those big reefs, from Main Beach to, just before you get to Aliso, they were out of this world back in the day.
Really?
Yeah, big calicos and sea bass in the late summer and the fall. I catch them on the mackerel and stuff.
Yeah.
But that was kind of an important part of that half day run out of Newport was down the beach.
That kind of screwed the half-day run for Newport when they closed MLPA. Do you look
I don't
into
necessarily
that?
means that because you were fishing spots. You're fishing calicos on spots. You're catching sand bass on spots. So it wasn't the migratory sand bass, which I'm not quite sure that where did they migrate from? Everyone says Mexico. But
what do you think about that? Like, they're gone now, right? I mean, it used to be the Huntington Flats used to go off, right?
I think there's a lot of factors that went into it. Overfishing didn't help.
I heard the squid fucked them up. The Humboldt squid when they came.
I don't know, dude. There's Humboldt squid from here to Chile.
You still catch them?
It's been a couple of years.
They used to run boats just to catch them, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. I mean, I remember years ago that the crew on the Nautilus, man, those guys were just cleaning house for months. It was,
at night?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they were like driving Lamborghinis and having helicopters drop. They were killing it.
Just on what? They would sell the squid?
Yeah, just the filleting them and all that stuff. But, it was weird, like in Newport there, because you couldn't, it was almost a guarantee that you had to get them clean because you couldn't just like sack drag 30 squid up the boardwalk and just ink stain in front of your landing. Like, it's kind of a red flag. Like, the city told us, like, they have to be clean. They got to be in trash bags. So it's like, oh, that's a win-win. Like, we're going to fillet all these.
Killing it.
Yeah, right? Crushing all these squid every single night.
Were you doing it too?
A little bit. The Nautilus was like that. That was the twilight boat back in the day. It was, morning, afternoon, twilight. And then the freelance did the same thing. It was 3/4 and twilight. And the boats ran 7 days a week. But that was, sand bass. I mean, there was nights where some of those boats would catch 700 to 900 sand bass, and they'd be done in a couple hours. But you'd see them in the deck lights, and you drop remember the blams?
No, I'm only 10 years deep.
Okay,
this, yeah.
There was the hot lure, like when
I was
little
like.
They had the root beer scampies when I was a kid, and then it went to the what was the one? The Cody's. Mm-hmm. The Cody's with the yellow lead heads, and we used to have the tackle packs that had the yellow lead heads, and you'd pin your bigger baits like your pompano or your brown baits on there, like your herring or tomcod, and catch your big sand bass like that. And then these blam lures come out, speak English. See, and those were hot.
Hey, you're a little bit of Mexican.
Yeah. Well, I lived in Santa Ana for 3 years.
You've been hanging out with Carmelo too.
Yeah. Bristol and Central, son. We used to get big bags of them, and that was a big sell back in the day. You'd sell them a couple plastics and a lead head, but that's all you needed. Mm-hmm. And I think we maybe just took it for granted, because like people kill for that now. Like who wants to go catch a sculpin in July? No, it's pretty stupid. But people do. Will you still fish calico like on the bow, like when they're biting? Will you go throughout? Oh yeah, I love that. Lures are actual. Just like fish bait. Yeah, easier. Yeah, I mean, like you see, like the guys that fish bass over there, and like they get those skiffs. Not getting shallow is not the problem on the front of the island. It's getting shallow on the back of the island, like the problem is you're driving through kelp, and a lot of that stuff isn't mapped, like where the rocks are. There's boilers that are hidden that they don't quite peak ever. Yeah, you can just run a boat into them. We don't need to be tooling around in the kelp with 30 people. Yeah. One, because it's dangerous. Two, the whole boat's stuck in the kelp. Yeah. We're not a skiff. The skiffs don't have a generator. They just get to like float in the middle of the kelp and like fish weedless baits and stuff like that. And I get it looks really fun, but like that doesn't work for us. We have to have we got to have current. We got to be able to set up our boat. Anchor, yeah. Like all the, yeah. Yeah. That's but you'll do it like for fun, Dude, it's a pretty when it's biting, it's a pretty important, if there's nothing else going on at the island, the bass fishing's there. It's just that it depends on the group. Yeah. If you got guys that can fish calico bass, you have those same guys can catch a yellowtail, and those same guys could probably catch a tuna. Yeah. But, if you've got a bunch of straight up and downers and you're parked in a reef area and there's kelp on the bottom and you're not necessarily sitting like in the matted up kelp because the current has it down, you're just pulling people's dropper loops out of the kelp the whole day. So it sucks. Huh? Yeah. It's a lot of work. Yeah. But if it's biting, it's important for us. Yeah. But we have seen over the last, I don't know, since the limit definitely went to 5 and then the size limit changed. We see a lot more people that are a little bit more like savvy to the conservation side of things. They catch a big one, they want to get a picture with it, and then they just throw it back. Yeah. And I'm fine with that. How are you with conservation? Are you kind of just like more about, I mean, I know you probably want it there because you want it to grow because that's your livelihood. I think it's too little too late. I think that. Really? With a lot of stuff, What do you think about so you did mention, Evan kind of said something about yellowtail having a bag limit. Maybe only getting 3 instead of 5. I think it was 2 fish or 3 fish. Yeah, it was something, and you kind of like and being this ridiculous like 27.8 or 28 inches or something like that's a fucking nice yellowtail. Yeah, 3 of those, Now, is 10 too many? I think so.
Do you try to police that?
Do I?
Like on your boat?
Oh, we have to.
Yeah. What's the limit? 5?
The limit's 10.
10.
If it's 24 or over. Or you can have 5 under, 5 over. And
you don't think 10's too many?
10's too many.
Thinks it should be 5?
It should be 5.
Same as calico.
Yeah. What are you going to do with 10 25-pound yellowtail?
Fuck, dude.
You know, it's a lot of meat.
You'll hit 10, 25 pounds on the boat sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
And
I mean, but it's never going to be to the point where, you know, well, I mean, it has, where you run into the problem where, like, let's say one guy catches 18 fish and he only wants 6, but you didn't catch limits of yellowtail for the boat. His fish.
Can you give him away technically? Like, can I get, say I caught like.
He can give his fish
my limit and I can give you part of my limit. And
because it's all done by boat limits.
Okay, great.
So you can give your fish to somebody else.
On the boat.
Right.
Okay.
I can't catch a fish and give it to a passenger.
Because that's
considered commercial fishing.
Okay.
In the ways
because
of
you're okay.
Because I'm a crew member.
But don't you have guys that come on the boat that just can really fish really good and they just kind of do what they got to do sometimes? What do you call them? Like a pinhead? Not pinhead, is it?
We used to call them deadheads back in the day.
Yeah.
They're the freebies or whatever. But we got guys that pay that are
really
they're
good.
Hot shit.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
And thank God they're on the boat sometimes. You know, because you know on the days where what you look at the numbers sometimes, like when you got 25 or 30 bluefin, like that doesn't seem all that impressive. But when you find out like 4 of the guys or 5 of the guys caught all of that.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
That's the shocker to me.
We see it a
like,
lot.
Yeah.
We see it a lot. And it doesn't mean that the other people didn't have a chance. They hooked fish or lost them. But there's a lot of guys that just, they come
good.
out. They're just good.
They're like sponsored almost pretty much. You know,
there's a lot of luck involved, but it's when you're out there every day and you know, you just see guys that are, you can put yourself in position and you can definitely, you know, the guys that can select the best bait, the guys that can cast the best bait without having the bait just slap the water, you know, at 50 miles an hour and knock all the scales off of it. Dude, they're on it, you know.
Yeah, learning.
But it's you can't teach that. You can't grab a Tiger Woods golf book and then go out and you know shoot 600 par on the back 9 of frickin' Pebble Beach or something just because you read Tiger Woods book.
Yeah,
definitely will give you pointers, you know. But it's just like
That's like people that look at YouTube for fishing a lot of the times, and I've said this. Like, they talk about, once you feel the bite. Well, I never felt the bite, and the only way for me to feel it is to catch the fish.
Yeah.
If I'm not catching the fish, I don't know.
Well, and they go and you get it starts taking line off the reel, and you want to give it a 5 count. Like, I've never seen anybody go 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just kind of like,
hey, that's like when you stick the tip in.
Right.
You don't just fucking stop.
Well, I still get 5 seconds there too.
You count 1, 2.
Yep.
You know, like when you get bit, you're fucking gonna go crazy.
Yeah, I just tell my wife, "Let me grab you a towel," and I'm, you know,
sorry, I apologize.
I apologize. It's been a while. No, it's yeah. I mean, there is technique to it.
Yes.
No.
And that's what I mean. It's cool. Like, I like the in-person stuff. Like, I don't like Zoom. I have a lot of people that want to do Zoom podcast. It's not the same.
No, it's stupid.
No. It's like I'm talking to someone over the phone. I'm like, all right, yeah, well.
Well, then you got the connection that might be crappy.
Well, then you got the board that fucks up on this guy. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like,
or you think you're at commercial break and your pants come down and all of a sudden it's not commercial break and you're sitting
next
there
thing
like.
I'm caught on my knees. It's the king.
Yeah.
Jeff Thunderbird, Jeff. Not
you
Jeff
got the
Markland.
black casting couch in the background.
Behind us. Oh, man. But, I mean, it's cool to do all this in person.
For sure.
And it's cool for you to come on here. I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. I was glad that you told me it was Buena Park instead of Whittier.
He doesn't like Whittier. See, Mexicans.
That's not even that, dude.
I'm going to touch Carmelo, dude, and ask him what your problem is with little Mexicans.
No, he said, and I'm going to throw it up there, and I'm not going to get in trouble for it because it's actually paperwork that I've received from the community. He made me an honorary beaner in Santa Ana.
I love that word, beaner.
This is from a Mexican guy giving this to me.
How many tacos do you eat?
How many can I eat?
And how hot are they?
Oh, fuck.
Can you handle hot shit?
Spicy, I love it.
I can't. I'm a fucking whitest Mexican you ever meet. I'm a coconut and a half, dude.
No, I talked to my wife about it the other day, and it's like, when you like spicy stuff, you could take something that's like the most basic meal, and you can always make it good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like eggs or whatever. No salt. You can add hot sauce to it. It's good. Or eat broccoli and chicken. Like if you're trying to eat healthy, put hot sauce on. It's good.
When's the last time you done that?
All the time.
You eat healthy a lot?
Well, I don't want to say all the time. I'm trying to. I got a little heavier than I wanted to this last past
40,
year.
bro. Things got to change.
Dude. And I'm pretty lazy, dude. Yeah.
It's time to change. We can't be drinking these Coors Lights anymore.
Whatever.
At fucking 11 or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
It's
late. I know. You're used to morning beers, huh?
Yeah, morning cocktails, yeah. At our place, the Chicken Coop. So, yeah.
Let's plug the landing where they can get you on the boat. If you want to get on the boat, like, what do they got to do?
I have a link in my bio on Instagram. You can go to davieslocker.com. Okay. I don't know how great the Newport Landing website is as far as booking. I think when you call
and when I've done it, I've gone out a couple times.
I know the main website that they use is davieslocker.com. You can go to that, and then it shows you the list of boats, anywhere from a half day to 3/4 day, whale watching or whatever.
Yeah.
We're obviously the overnight boat. Like I said, I have the link in my bio. We also have a Thunderbird Fishing Company Incorporated Facebook page with a book now option. We're the 9 o'clock boat.
There you go.
Boat leaves at 9.
Comes back.
Said earlier, so I think we're starting the year at $200. We got a little bit of wiggle room if it seems like we're not getting momentum people wise. We can drop the price a little bit, but we're also still running with 10 less people than a full load. So
makes sense. Well,
it's less people. We still have to keep our the operating costs are still the same. So,
yeah.
We had a couple people mention it last year, and it's like, dude, like the gross of us carrying more people at less money.
Oh, people complained
right at the beginning.
But you got it. Like I had this. I talk with Mitch. I'm like,
who wants to fish a full boat? Yeah, it's less people.
It's like if you told me you could fish with 30 people or 10, and you got to pay another $100.
Well, what if they told you could go to Disneyland with 2,000 people instead of 50,000 people, and you had to pay $100 more to get in?
No problem.
You pay it? No problem. All day long.
I fucking hate people. So
their operating costs are still the same. Whether they fill the park or not, like they're still paying the same. So are we. I think it's a blessing in disguise. Obviously,
are you hoping? You think it's gonna stay like this? I mean, a couple guys have said, yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
As far as this COVID bullshit.
Well, I mean, the mask probably for the next 3 or 4 years.
I hope not. No, and there's no way.
You think it's gonna clear up pretty soon?
I'm gonna be out of here if I have to wear a mask for the next 3 years.
Well, not wear a mask, but what I'm saying is like you're gonna get the restrictions on everything for the next.
I think we'll have I don't know. I'd like to think that we'd have a better understanding of what it's going to be like coming into this next spring, We'll see. I hope it gets better. I hope people can start opening their businesses and stuff that are struggling to full capacity.
Yeah.
At least restaurants and
Orange
stuff.
County's a little better, I think, too.
Orange County's definitely open. Pro-business for sure.
Yeah.
Which is cool. And it's not, I wouldn't even call it like pro-business to the point of like putting money above safety. Like all of these hoops that small businesses are having to jump through just to stay open at a 25 or 50% capacity. And then you just keep moving the goal line for these guys, and they're screwed, Yeah. And we were the same way. We kind of just set our goal line once everyone started to open back up, and I think it was enough to. I don't think people would put themselves in a position where if they thought they were going to get sick, would even be on the boat to begin with.
I feel like the mask is pretty safe. I feel like if you guys are scared.
Put a mask on.
I'm doing I have a charter next week. Yeah. Next Friday.
If you want to wear one, I mean, now we have to, but like just going out, walking around in public, like I don't drive around and go, oh, look at this idiot with the mask on. I say that when they're driving their car with the mask on because they look like stupid asses. But if you want to wear a mask, it makes you feel safe or whatever. More power to you. But I'm not going to unless I have to go into somewhere and it's required.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to bust their balls over it.
No.
Like they have to work too.
Yeah. You do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like you want to wear a Seeker fishing rod hat, you go ahead and do it.
If you want to wear a Seeker fishing hat and you fish a CalStar rod, knock yourself out. If you want to put a Daiwa handle on a Trinidad, knock yourself out. Like
you want to fish. Hey, you want to fish a gay R2D2?
Yeah, if you want to put a Tranks on a Phoenix, knock yourself out.
Thanks again, Jeff, for coming on. This was a real fun one.
You bet. It's my pleasure.
You're not a dickhead at all, man. You're really cool.
I've heard that I'm a dickhead, but yeah, I think I'm all right.
Okay, well, we love dickheads here because I call everyone a dickhead.
Perfect.
So thanks for coming on.
You bet.